Shalom, brothers and sisters. Shalom, brothers and sisters. Giving honor and praise unto the Most High, the Creator and the Maker of heaven and earth. My name is Yeshaya Yisrael of the tribe of Dan of the nation of Israel. This particular presentation, brothers and sisters, will be about what we have discussed previously, but a bit more information in this particular aspect. And that is, brothers and sisters, regarding the matter and regarding the fact of putting the Hebrew pronouns, we're using the singular, and how does it work with verbs? All right. So that's something we want to go over for edification purposes. Okay. Brothers and sisters, let us start, if we will, in prayer. And we're going to go to Psalms 148, brothers and sisters. And it reads as follows. The book of Psalms, or Tehillim, 148 and verse 1. And it says this. Praise ye Yah. Praise ye Yah from the heavens. Praise him in the heights. Praise ye him, all his angels. Praise ye him, all his hosts. Praise ye him, sun and moon. Praise him, all ye stars of light. Praise him, ye heavens of heavens, and ye waters that be above the heavens. Let them praise the name of Yah, for he commanded, and they were created. He hath established them forever and ever. He hath made a decree which shall not be transgressed. Praise Yah from the earth, ye dragons in all deeps. Fire and hail, snow and vapor, stormy wind fulfilling his word. Mountains and all hills, fruitful trees and cedars, beasts and all cattle, creeping things and winged fowl. Kings of the earth and all peoples, princes and all judges of the earth, both young men and maidens, old men and children. Let them praise the name of Yah, for his name alone is exalted. His glory is above the earth and heaven. He hath also exalted the horn of his people, the praise of all his saints, even of the children of Israel, and people near unto him. Hallelujah. So, brothers and sisters, we just want to show this for reason and purposes and go over this. All right. For those who are able to, in the chat, we're going to say shalom and let us go on in this particular matter. Giving honor to the creator of heaven and earth. This day, 2/20/21, the Hebrew class will deal with some commonly used words, which are verbs in this case, and how they are shown, conjugated in the present tense. We will deal with the singular matter in this video. The pronouns too will be shown on how they are used. All right, so let us go on, if we will, to the next slide, brothers and sisters. All right, the singular pronouns. We have here, brothers and sisters, all right, the word ani. Now, brothers and sisters, ani is going to be shown there in the green. Now, that can be said by a male or a female, okay? So that's something we want to point out in that particular case. Here we have, brothers and sisters, the word ata. And we're going to show the word ata, brothers and sisters, all right, inside of the red in this particular case. All right, now, brothers and sisters, all right, let's do it like this, because I wanted it to be color-coded, brothers and sisters. All right, here we go, Toda, cool. All right, now, the word ata means you or you are. Now, that means that if you are male speaking to a female, you would not say ata. However, a male speaking to a male will say ata. A male being spoken to by a female, she will say ata, meaning you or you are. All right. So now the next one we want to show brothers and sisters, is the word at. And we want to show this, brothers and sisters, in the blue here. Now, at means you or you are when you are speaking to a female. It doesn't matter in this particular case if you are male or female. If you are speaking to a female in the second person saying you or you are, you will use the word at. All right. So that's something we want to point out for reasoning purposes in that particular matter. All right. Next, we have here the word who, brothers and sisters, and we want to show this, if we will, in the purple. Now, who, brothers and sisters, means he or he is. All right. So that is the third person. So that will be a male or a female speaking to somebody else about somebody else. All right. So he is doing this. He has done that. He will do this. That is what you would state there, and you would use the word who. So if it's a female to a female talking about a male, the word who will be used. If it's a male to a female or a female to a male saying he did this or that, is doing this or that, one would use, brothers and sisters, the word who in this particular matter. All right. And we have here, brothers and sisters, the word he. Now, the word he, brothers and sisters, all right, trying to think of a color to use. And we'll do it just like that. In the gray. He means she or she is. All right. So now, if one is speaking to another person about a female, all right, that person would say he, whatever that matter is. Okay. So that's something we want to point out for edification purposes. Okay. Next, we have here some notes. These pronouns are in the singular. The reason why we want to, brothers and sisters, start off in these particular classes regarding the singular is because that's how most people think. They think in the singular. All right. So this is something that we want to use and show for edification purposes. Okay. Now we also can see that they what? They go before or after a verb. Now, they going before or after a verb, brothers and sisters, that means if the verb is in the past tense, the present tense, or the future tense, you can use any one of these singular pronouns to exemplify what you're talking about, who's speaking, who's being spoken about, and who is being spoken to can all be noted in that particular aspect. All right. It then goes on to say it is essential to understand these pronouns in order to be able to converse in the language. And brothers and sisters, we want to sit there and underline and bold type this particular matter and maybe make this enlarged. Why do we go over this repetitively? All right, is so that way the people can be able to see ani, ata, at, ho, he. Ani, ata, at, ho, he. All right. So once you be able to know how to speak for yourself as ani, to speak to somebody as ata, meaning you, to speak to a female about herself as an at, to speak about someone, hopefully respectfully, okay, and you're going to say who, meaning he or he is. All right. And then you have the aspect of he, meaning she or she is. So these are just things, brothers and sisters, that we want to point out for edification purposes. As pointed out, it is essential to understand these pronouns in order to be able to converse in the language. Okay, let us go on, if we will, to the next slide. Okay, let's look at this here. All right. We have here metaquain and metaquinet, which means en route to fix or to repair. Now, we have here the letter mem, okay? And we're going to bold type that. And we're going to, brothers and sisters, change the color, if we will, of the letter mem. Why? And we're going to show why for a reason and purposes, okay? And we're going to make that one red. So now, mitaquain, brothers and sisters, is the present tense. All right, so let's write that in. You have that as the present tense. This is masculine singular. All right, so the pronouns that will go along with this, brothers and sisters, we want to take this as we can, brothers and sisters, step by step. All right, so the pronouns that will go with that, brothers and sisters, will be our famous, if we will. All right, ani. We're going to do it a little different. Pardon. How's everybody doing? All right. Shalom Aleichem, Moray from the brother Yirmiyahu Yahuda. And shalom to you too, Ak. Todah for coming into the channel. We have here, for instance, this word here, ani, right? And let's look at it like this. So we have ani, right? And then we have, brothers and sisters, for reason and purposes, all right, we have ata. And why we want to go over this too, I want to explain this because in many cases, brothers and sisters, there are sisters or women in Israel who speak to each other in the masculine, as pointed out. So we want to understand that Hebrew is the language of gender and to show its distinction and its uniqueness between the feminine principle and the masculine understanding in the Hebrew language. All right. So then we have who in this particular case. All right, so let us look, if we will, in this particular matter. We have, okay, as pointed out, ani, as we see here, ata, and who. All right, we want to enlarge this just a little bit and change it to, if we will, to keep the same kind of writing done. Ani. All right. So how we go over that? One would say ani mitaquain. Okay, that's a whole sentence. Ani mitaquain would mean I am fixing, I am repairing. Ani mitaquain ham honit, I am repairing the car. Ani mitaquain ha tanor, I am repairing the stove. Ani mitaquain hashulkan, I am fixing the table. So, brothers and sisters, all right, that's something we want to go over for reason and purposes, if we will. All right. So, all right, I'm gonna have to change the size on this particular one. And we're going to make it a 24. All right. Thank you for that. Pain. All right. Now, this mem, as we can see here with the shawah, right? You have the tau, and then the kuf, and then the noon. All right. Mitaquain. This is not a verb that's used a lot, but in Hebrew, when most people are speaking, but it is a word that we do use a lot in English. So you want to learn the vocabulary that you say in English in Hebrew, and so thus it can become much more easier for one to understand what we're dealing with and what we're talking about. Okay, so you would say what? Ani mitaquain. Then you would have it, brothers and sisters, by saying, all right, ata mitaquain. And then one would say what? Who? As in saying, he is. So hu mitaquin would mean he is repairing, or he repairs, or he is fixing. So these pronouns here, the ani, which is for a male or a female, the ata, which is regarding you in the masculine sense, and then you have who, which is brothers and sisters, all right, he is. So that's what we want to point out with that particular matter, if we will. Okay, let us go on, if we will, to this particular aspect, brothers and sisters. You have here, all right, and we want to change the particular font on that to a size 24. All right. And what we're going to see here is connect. Now, this right here, brothers and sisters, is in the feminine. All right. So now we want to color code it for a reason, and then I'm going to explain why I did such. Let's look. This mem serves as a prefix. All right. So now, with that being the case, its initial root is tau, kuf, and nun. This particular nun is the nun sofit, as we've gone over in lessons in the past. Now, you wouldn't put a sofit letter in the midst of a word, but only at the end of a word. All right. So now you have the letter tau here, and we want to color code this and say in the brown. Now, why? Because this tau, brothers and sisters, that we see here just color coded in brown, serves as a suffix, as we've gone over in the past. The letter hey and tau are feminine letters. So mitaquin, masculine, meaning fixing or repairing, because we're talking in the present tense, it will then become what? Mitaquinet. All right. So now we have present tense, feminine, singular. All right. And we're going to type that in for the people to see it. Then we'll change the font or the size or so to a 24. All right. Now, what do we want to point out, if we will, as well? This is the present tense. And you would use the pronouns as we see here. All right. This is something we want to show for reason and purposes, brothers and sisters. Ani. And then we have the other one, brothers and sisters, which is the word at. All right. Now, these pronouns, they may seem redundant or so, but in order for proper communication, this has to be noted for a reason and purposes. All right. And here we have at, and then next we have, brothers and sisters, he. All right. So let's look. You have the hey, the yod, and the aleph. All right. All right. And brothers and sisters, this he, as pointed out in the past, brothers and sisters means she or she is. All right. She or she is. So how can we, brothers and sisters, show what we're talking about in this particular matter? You can make whole sentences of this kind of matter if you care to. All right. So I need we see is both for a male or female speaking of oneself. Right now, at you or you are. Okay. And then on this side, we have ata, which is you or you are, and speaking in the masculine. Okay. Then you have who, which means he or he is. So, brothers and sisters, getting back onto this side now, a female would say, Ani mitaquenet, whatever the thing is. Ani mitaquenet, mitaquenet. hamazon. I am fixing the food. Ani metakwenet hashiur. I am fixing or repairing the lesson. All right. So it would be at metakwenet hamazon. You are fixing the food. All right. He metakwenet. So this is what we want to show for reason and purposes. All right. One would not say at metakwen. You wouldn't use the pronouns of this here. We're going to color code it, okay? All right, let's use this. And then let's use the same over here. All right. The pronouns we see right here, all right, brothers and sisters, we want to bold it and bold this here. You would not use these pronouns with this metaquin. Just the same. You would not say ata, and we're going to color code this green, and we're going to color code this, in this particular case, green. All right. You would not, brothers and sisters, use and say ata metaquenet. That will be incorrect. This is why I wanted to show, compare and contrast, if you will, between the aspect of the masculine usage and the feminine usage. All right. Now, if there's any questions or comments concerning what we've gone over, please let me know. Again, this is the verbs we'll be dealing with in the present tense, because most people speak in the present tense. So this is why we want to go over learning Hebrew verbs in this present tense first. All right. So let's go on to the next one. Here we see, brothers and sisters, the word here, mamshik and mamshika. All right. So what can we gather from this? This has, brothers and sisters, the letter kaf. Okay. And we want to color code this one green. And that's the kaf sofit. This is the regular kaf. And we're going to also color code that one green. We want to point that out first when dealing with the alphabet aspect. Anytime you have the K sound, which is formulated by the letter kaf in Hebrew, and it serves as the last letter, you wouldn't use this kaf here. You would use this kaf on the left-hand side. All right. So that's something we want to show for reason and purposes. Next, brothers and sisters, we want to go over and explain. This is the present tense, masculine, singular. All right. So what are we saying? You would say the what? The ani, ata, and who. All right. Ani, ata, and who. Say it with me. Ani, ata, and who. That is what you would use, brothers and sisters, in this particular case. All right. Wanted to change that particular matter, if we will. Told out for the time. All right. So, brothers and sisters, what can we gather from what we have just gone over? You would still have the ata and the who. All right. I'm trying to get the copy parts done on this. It's not letting me. All right. So we're going to rewrite it just on this particular part right here. All right. We have ata again. And we're going to copy it to this. And you have the who. Now, brothers and sisters, it may seem maybe, I don't know, silly to some. It may seem, I don't know, redundant to some, but you'll be surprised, because what we will have to do in order to understand this kind of matter is to be able to gather this kind of information, all right, in order to get the Hebrew done correctly, if we will. So let us continue in this and show what we're talking about for this matter. Okay, you have the atah. Sorry about that with the screen, brothers and sisters. My fault for that. All right, so let's look at this here. You have atah and who. That is the pronouns that you would use with that particular case. All right, you or you are. Then you have, brothers and sisters, he or he is. All right, and so in this particular case, what we want to emphasize on, you would say it as so. Ata mam sheik means you are continuing. Hu mam sheik means he is continuing. So you can formulate whole sentences, just brothers and sisters, from that particular case. All right. Then we want to make the notes or so on this side. All right. We have the present tense, feminine, singular. All right. So now, with that being the case, we have to understand about the rules of the language itself, because this is why, like for instance, when you go to somebody's establishment, you ask them what are their rules, because the same thing with Hebrew, it too has rules, and there is definitely the masculine and the feminine. So one would say what concerning this kind of matter, brothers and sisters, you would have it as at, right? The word at meaning you or you are, okay? And then you would have also, brothers and sisters, the word he, meaning she or she is. All right. Now we have, now let's look at this and then show what we're talking about for reasoning purposes, if we will, right? And we want to enlarge this for the people's viewing. All right. He mam shika means she is continuing. Okay. You can say at mam shika, which means you are continuing. You or you are. All right. And then you have he, which is she or she is. All right. He mam shika. She is continuing. All right. Or you can say, if you're speaking about a male, who mam shik. So this is something, brothers and sisters, we want to point out for reasoning purposes. All right. We have she, ka. And then here we have, brothers and sisters, sheik. Now, that means in regards with continuing. Many times in Israel, you may hear people say Tom Sheik, Tom Sheik. Tom Sheik is a future tense word, which we won't really go in depth in this, but Tom Sheik literally means you will continue. All right. So we want to deal with the present tense. So one would say Ani Mam Sheik, if they are male, saying I am continuing. And then the female would say Ani Mam Shika. Okay, so if there's any questions or anything of that sort concerning this, please feel free to either ask it now or when this is uploaded, put it inside of the comments. Thank you for that particular matter. Okay, next we have here the word ma'akil and ma'akila. All right, so let's look at this. You have the word, sorry about that. I kill. Some say it as, brothers and sisters, may I kill. So I just want to point that out as well. So, brothers and sisters, this is the present tense masculine verb. And what it means, brothers and sisters, is feed. So one would say, ani ma'akil, all right? Or saying, I am feeding. Or the another aspect will be ata ma'akil, which means you are feeding. And then you would have the other, hu ma'akil, which means, brothers and sisters, he is feeding. So we just want to, brothers and sisters, go over that particular case, if we will. So let's go back here, if we will, right? You have the word ata ma'akil, which means you are feeding. So now, if we already can see that, you already know, brothers and sisters, that's how you can formulate whole sentences. Ata ma'akil mazon. You are feeding food. All right? Or you can have it, and we want to show it as well here. Who? We're going to copy and paste that part. All right. And I wanted to do it like this so the people can see the actual work as the live is going on, just in that particular aspect. All right. So, who ma'akil? He is feeding. Ata ma'akil. You are feeding. All right. So, that's what we want to point out. T, standing for present tense. Okay. And masculine word. And this is the singular. Okay, so we just want to emphasize on that. So here we have, brothers and sisters, feeding, right? Ma, aki, ma akila. Now this is the feminine singular, brothers and sisters. And why do we want to emphasize that? Is because, as we've been stating, that Hebrew is the language of gender. So a female, be it a grandmother, a mother, or daughter, an aunt, whoever that female is, she would say ani ma'akila. Ani meaning I or I am. Ani ma'akila, mazon. I am feeding food. Right there, you already know, brothers and sisters, if you look at the presentation that was done last night, and then if you look at this presentation, you can formulate your whole sentences. Because we went over the word mibashel, which means cooking. So a female would say, Ani mibashelet mazon. I am cooking food. Wa ani ma'akila hamazon. And I am feeding the food. That right there is a whole entire sentence. See, we want to emphasize on this channel about the aspect of speaking the language. All right. So let us go on, if we will, brothers and sisters, and make more notes. The present tense feminine verb. And that's pointed out already. This is in the singular. All right. So you have, brothers and sisters, the word at, meaning you or you are. And that's it. I wanted to show going step by step in this so people can see how that works in that particular way. All right. And then you have the word he, meaning she or she is. All right. In this particular case. He ma'akila. Now we're going to, in future lessons, just take some of these verbs like cook, feed, and so forth, and then formulate whole sentences. Cook, feed, clean, wash. Then you can learn the word for stove, sink, dish. These are things that people would use all the time once it comes down to this. All right. Now, not trying to be funny or anything of that sort. A brother like myself who kind of eats a lot of food, this is probably why my mom went there for this vocabulary. But just wanted to show what we're talking about for reason and purposes. Here we have, okay, as pointed out, we want to enlarge this. All right. He ma'akila mazon. She is feeding food. Lami, he ma'akila mazon. To whom is she feeding food? He ma'akila et yeladeha. She is feeding her children. Yeladeha, hem oklim mazon. Hamazon, ha ma'akila imehem lahem. The children are being fed the food that their mother made them. This is how you can just know a little bit of this, and then just building your vocabulary and knowing the grammar, your Hebrew conversation will excel tremendously. All right. So let us continue, brothers and sisters, in this particular case. All right. It is now 8:32. I just got the notification about the Shomre. I'm gonna type this in here. All right, subscribe to this channel too. Shomre Ab Reet. All right, with Moray Iftak. Sorry, Don. All right, so that's a channel on YouTube where they do Sabbath services and so forth. Oh, and while we're speaking about this, I want to give and do respect, shout out and respect to Iman Naami. She was a person who helped me get the courage to even want to get back into the Hebrew or get into the Hebrew and teaching the people. Sometimes a person can be discouraged if like they don't see people channeling into the channel or sharing it, but that doesn't matter. You still got to bring it out because you never know who it can help. All right. So I want to give a shout out and due respect to Iman Naami, who is a part of that congregation online, Shomrei Habrit, all right, concerning this particular case. All right. So just wanted to go over that and that presentation or that services start at 9 a.m. on Shabbat. So I wanted to do this class at this time early, so that way the teaching I'm doing in the Hebrew here doesn't conflict with the same timing that the brother Mori Yiftak is doing his presentation with the people in Shomrei Habrit and vice versa. All right. So that's why I am doing this very earlier than maybe expected. Okay. So let's go on, if we will, brothers and sisters, to this one right here. All right. We have here, we want to color code this again, right? And we're going to color code this one. And let's color code this one, this color. Any color. Okay, let's see this. There's a reason why I'm emphasizing this matter with the letter mem, if we will, okay? All right, we got it, red. So now, brothers and sisters, you have the word here, menagain. That means to make music or to play an instrument. You might hear Israelites sometimes in the drumming matter. You might hear the chant by saying, nah gain, nah gain. Well, what the word nah gain means, brothers and sisters, one is telling the other, make music, make music. That's what that is. All right. So this is the present tense, masculine, singular. All right. And brothers and sisters, this mem serves as a prefix. Okay. So what pronouns will go with this? We have, again, the ata. All right. And we want to show this here, brothers and sisters. Ata menagain. You are making music. Who menagain? He is making music. All right. These will be the pronouns. And the reason why I'm not saying ani in each of these is because we've gone over that. So ani could be for the masculine or the feminine. All right. So what we want to emphasize on is when you're speaking in this case, as in the second person, ata, meaning you or you are masculine, or who, which is the third person masculine. All right. So that's what we want to focus on. You have ata and who men I gain. Then we have here, brothers and sisters, and we want to color code this one. Alrighty. In the red again. So you have mena genet. All right. So let's make some notes. We have present tense, feminine, singular. All right. So what pronouns, knowing that this is a feminine word, will go along with it? You have, as we've been pointing out already, all right, at and he. And then we have this here on this side too. I wanted to enlarge this one, if we will. All right. Okay, so let's talk about this for a minute. You have at menagenet, which means that she, pardon me, it says you are making music. You have he menagenet, which means she is making music. So ata is you or you are, and on this side is you or you are in the feminine. So you will not, brothers and sisters, properly say at menage. You will say ata menagain. You will not properly say ata menagenet. You will say at menagenet. So this is why we want to emphasize how the aspect of the singular pronouns is shown with the conjugated in the present tense verbs, be it on the masculine side or the feminine side. All right. So, brothers and sisters, let's go on in this. Shalom. Thank you for watching the presentation. Please like, do comment, and share. There will be other Hebrew short presentations like this so we can grasp the matter of how to converse in Hebrew. And we want to emphasize about conversation because Hebrew is a language that is spoken like any other languages. There are languages in this earth that are still have no written alphabet form. Hebrew happens to have one as a written form of it. But as we all know, human beings, all right, if you take babies who are human beings, they speak before they can know how to spell and write. So we want to now, as adults, or for the most of us learning Hebrew, we want to emphasize about the speaking aspect, how to converse one with another. Okay? And also, please like, subscribe, and comment on the videos on the YouTube channel, Mora Yeshaya Hebrew Lessons. All right? Now, this channel that we're on here is Mora Yeshaya Torah Lessons. There is another channel that I operate, thinking the Most High, that is called Mora Yeshaya Hebrew Lessons. And there's a lot of Hebrew classes in that. All right. Going all the way from Aleph, Bet, Gimel, Dalit, all the way until the Hitpa'el stem. All right. So we just want to go over that, and you can subscribe to that channel and leave comments on there in respect. Okay. Any questions, comments, or concerns, I can be emailed YYISRAEL. I'm going to type this inside of the room here. My email is YYISRAEL22 at yahoo.com. And my telephone number to text me or call if you care to is 908-587-4841. All right. And I'm going to put my number in this as well. All right. 908-587-4841. All right. So, brothers and sisters, giving honor and praise unto the Most High, the Creator and the Maker of heaven and earth. Hopefully, this was understood. There will be more presentations concerning this. Thank you for subscribing to the channel. We want to, in respect, take advantage of what is referred to as Black History Month, brothers and sisters, and show next weekend presentations about Black people in history. All right, but today we wanted to go over the aspect with this and verbs and so forth in Hebrew. Okay, shalom, Most High bless, shalom lakem.